How far would you go for likes on social media? In fact, Al, you're like an expert on this. You have your podcast that you're going to start soon called Dying for Likes. Okay, so we got a couple of stories that may go a bit too far, you think? First, a Canadian woman got stuck on top of her car, which was rapidly sinking into a frozen river after she crashed. Thankfully, people who live nearby were able to rescue her with a kayak and a rope. But check this out. It appears the woman took a selfie while trapped on top of her sinking car. Albert, what would you do if you were one of these neighbors?
I mean, I would still help, but I get it, Sam. You know, look, it's not for me, but there is a lot of attention paid to people that do extreme things. That's really how this whole thing kind of started with remember gender reveals used to be just, you know, Jeff and Jordan with the different handprints on the stomach. And then people started dying because they were trying to be extreme, because being extreme gets you attention. And in a social media world, we cannot act like there isn't literally a financial incentive to do that and also an emotional incentive to do that, because people want attention. We're on TV right now. Like, I can't be a hypocrite.
Yeah, you cannot compare yourself being on TV to somebody who's racing across an ice skating rink where little children are playing and then putting the lives of her neighbors in jeopardy by expecting them to rescue her. I'm glad they did, Jeff, and I'm glad she's okay, but can't compare it.
I would have threw her an anchor. That's what I would have done.
Oh.
Listen, we didn't see the whole video. We think it's cute that she took a selfie on top. Someone had to risk their life to go out there and help that woman get out of that situation. They were like, what is going on? She was speeding across the lake where kids were playing hockey. Little kids. There's a view from someone's back porch where little kids are playing hockey, and this woman's speeding across the ice trying to get social media likes. I mean, I would have contemplated saving her.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
All right, let's go to the next story, Erica. I want you to check out this woman who's gone viral on social. So this is what happened. She ended up in the hospital with the worst stomach ache after overdoing it at an all-you-can-eat sushi buffet. So get this. The woman said she had miso soup, gyoza, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, jalapeno poppers, and 4 different types of rolls, which was 32 pieces of sushi total, plus, of course, edamame. You got to do the edamame. Her video has been seen more than 11.3 million times so far. So is she to blame, or are the viewers to blame, Erica?
No, that's her fault. I mean, come up with something that's not going to put you in the hospital, okay? I mean, I understand that everyone's, like, as Al's podcast says, dying for likes, because that's the social currency, right? But to do all that, I mean, no, my stomach is not set up that way. I would have a castor oil endorsement if I were her.
What are you thinking, Al?
Say, I'll just tell you this. We're sitting here talking about, you know, people doing extreme things for attention because of social media, but I think this has been going on ever since the Flying Walendas. Look at Jackass. Those guys were doing basically what this woman did, doing something extreme to their body for attention, and the Jackass guys have another movie coming out 20, 30 years after they started because people like to watch it, and they're providing content. It's not for me, but 11.3 million views doesn't lie, Sam.
I'm going to disagree with you there. The Jackass guys are all professional athletes. They're all extreme sport athletes.
They're not professional athletes, no.
Yes, they are. They're all ex-pro skateboarders.
I toured with Steve-O for 2 years. He's a athletic person, but he's not a professional athlete.
All of them either were pro, semi-pro, including Steve-O in skateboarding, in motocross. So in my opinion, not condoning it 100%, but in my opinion, at least those are people who are used to that adrenaline, who have the athleticism, who practice for their stunts, and they're also seen in some way, shape, or form as stuntmen, as compared to some Joe Schmo.
Sam, what does being a professional athlete have to do with you getting kicked in the genitals by a bull?
Well, yes.
Like they were doing extreme things to hurt themselves.
Totally, but
They're
there's
not
also
Jerry Rice.
You're right, but Jackass started. I think it was called like a CP5 or something. Or if anybody can remind me, Jackass started of all these skateboarders like Bam Margera, and they were doing extreme skateboarding stunts. That became a cult following. That turned into Jackass, and yes, then they would up the ante with even stupider stunts with people like Steve-O. But it didn't start out that way, and most of them are extreme sports athletes. I think there's a difference there between lady on the top of her car.
Shout out to Steve-O.